Yeah. The contact with the solution-focused therapy and the work of Steve and Inzo was really important, very important for me. At the beginning of the 19th, I started to write the so-called habilitation. That's a special thing at German-speaking universities. You have to do when you're an assistant professor and you want to become professor at the university. It's after the PhD, and it's a big thing you have to do. And the topic of my habilitation was constructivism and the way of how people construct realities, their reality at workplaces and in the company. And I started to read all the publications and articles and so on, and that was really challenging, because in constructivism you have a lot of fantastic thinkers and people like Heinz von Förster, Ernst von Glasersfeld, Maturana, and so on. A lot of therapists, systemic therapists, and so on, who have developed a very elaborated and complicated theory about how people and social systems construct their reality. And the majority of all that work is very abstract and very philosophical, very theoretical. And I was in my office and read for weeks and months all that literature, and over the time it was more and more complicated, and some days I had the impression, now I will become crazy, because the more you ask yourself the questions, how do people construct the reality? Is there a reality? Is there really a reality? And what is that reality? And who can describe that reality? Is there an observer or observing system, and so on? These are sometimes crazy questions, and I really thought about stopping all that work, because I always had an approach to the I like to work with the practice and everyday questions, and constructivism was so far away from reality and everyday facts and the everyday questions of people in company. And then I found the book Clues of Steve DeShazer, and I read that book. And for me, that was a turnaround, because I had, for the first time, I had the feeling there is a constructivistic approach that has a linkage from abstract thinking to the reality and to practice and so on. And then I decided to travel to Milwaukee